guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anna Yudin. I'm a doctor of clinical psychology and an author. Today I want to walk you through my process for what I do when I have a very challenging interpersonal experience, how I process my feelings and come out on the other side. Relatively recently, my husband and I had an experience like this with someone, and I walked him through sort of my process, and he told me that he's never really processed anything that much. And so I thought it would be interesting to share that process with you guys as well. The very first thing I do is I take the time and space needed to process everything. So for example, with this recent situation, I had a very full schedule that week. I had a lot of things to do, but instead of doing those things, I decided I'm taking a mental health day. I'm taking a day to emotionally process everything. I scratched everything off my to-do list. You know, I do this very rarely. I don't take a lot of mental health days. I do like to typically push through things. But when there is a very painful thing that you can just feel there's a lot to process there, you're almost like a sponge at that point. You've absorbed all of this stuff from your environment, and now you're so overflowing with emotion. You gotta squeeze some of it out if you want to move about in your day-to-day life. Otherwise, you're gonna feel very sluggish, very heavy, overfilling with emotion. You gotta squeeze the sponge if you want to more efficiently move on to what comes next. Just like sometimes there are sick days that will be necessary for your physical, organic health, sometimes there are going to be emotional and mental things that come up that will require a mental health day. So if you have the ability, if you have a sick day, if you have a vacation day, and you really need it, take it on those days when you really have a lot to process. Or if it's not a work day, just carve out a few hours for yourself. Carve out some time in your schedule for processing. Step number 2, I like to get my environment tidy. So for me, this looks like some vacuuming if the floor is dirty, a little bit of tidying up, cleaning some of the counters, nothing crazy. But spend an hour or two making your environment clean and tidy so that your mind can also feel clean and tidy. I don't know about you, but I can't really process or do important things when I have an unclean environment. It didn't always used to be like this. It's around age 25 that I really started to get very tidy. And nowadays, if I see that there's just mess around me everywhere, it feels like an extra thing that I need to do, that I can't concentrate on other things that need to take up my time until I do it. I just feel like I have the brain scramblies if I have an unclean environment and I have a lot on my plate. So the very first step to cleaning your mind and processing through your emotions is to make sure that you're in a space that is clean and tidy so that you can give it your full attention next. And I have nothing else that can distract me because my environment is clean now. The third thing I do, and the most important, is journaling. When a very difficult interpersonal experience happens to me, the very first thing I do is I write down every single thing that happened. What the other person did, what I did, what triggered me, if possible by hand. Doing it by hand is going to take up longer, especially if it was a very complicated conflict. But there are studies that indicate that what we process by handwriting is better for emotional processing, for learning, for long-term memory than typing it up. So list everything that happened, everything that people said to each other that you can remember, like the big themes in that, your feelings about what happened, your triggers, the other person's perceived feelings and triggers, what this unearthed for you, what you realized about yourself, about other people. Shout out to the personal growth journal. If you are the type of person that just doesn't really know what to journal in day-to-day life, I created the personal growth journal based on templates that I myself have used over the course of the past 6 years. And so the way you use it is you go to the table of contents, you identify a situation that you're currently in, and then you go to that page and it gives you a template for what to journal in that situation. So far, it has a 5-star review average on Amazon. And by the way, if you use it, if you enjoy it, please give it a review. But that's a really good starting point if you're not sure what to journal. And obviously every situation is going to be a little bit different. And so based on what you're experiencing in this moment, you can just go to the table of contents and see what is the journaling template that would be helpful. Now, once I've sort of processed the past of what happened in this situation, I like to look towards the future. So I like to identify what are some lessons that I learned from this, what did I learn about myself, about the other person, what is my goal moving forward, and what is the most effective route that I can take to get to that goal. So here you can do a weighted pros and cons list. That's another one of the templates in the personal growth journal. You can also map out different options and how you suspect each of those will turn out and sort of see which one has the most favorable outcome. The point is that you processed what happened in the past, how you're feeling in the present, and how you want to move forward in the future. Now, after I do my journaling, I also process these things with people. So my therapist is a godsend. I always leave therapy feeling so empowered and relieved and relaxed, and I learn so much. I have like my notes that I take after therapy, which is sort of my time to reflect on therapy on my own. Therapy can be immensely helpful for further processing those feelings, further figuring out what you want to do moving forward, how to navigate this relationship. Something that goes along with this is also leaning on supports, calling up a friend, a family member, venting to them, or just hanging out with them. It can be immensely helpful just to spend some quality time with someone, even if you're not directly talking about what just happened, about what the issue is. So call up some loved ones who can support you in the way that you need, confide in them, really hit all the bases. Write about it in your journal, talk about it in therapy, talk about it with friends. Exhaust talking about this feeling so that you can move past it faster. And lastly, just take care of your body, meaning get good sleep, do some movement every day for about half an hour. Eat healthy, nutritious, tasty foods. Listen to your body's intuition about what you want to eat, what you want to do that day, whether you want to work out. Maybe the more compassionate thing is, in some cases, to take a fitness rest day. It depends on the situation, on your body. The important piece is that you listen to what your body's saying and honor what it's saying that you need on this day when you've experienced something difficult. You can also listen to it about what might be good self-care emotionally. What would help you? Would it be taking a bubble bath? Would it be watching a movie? Would it be going for a walk? Would it be going for a date night? Lean into whatever your body is saying that you need in order to move past this. So those are 6 tips for how to process a very painful interpersonal experience. That's sort of my routine for when one of these life events hits me. That's what I've been doing for years, and that's what's honestly helped me become a much more regulated, level-headed person. So I hope that it helps you as well. If you have a lot of interpersonal conflicts, we have a whole chapter in the Connection course dedicated to conflict management, helping you get to a point where conflict is something that strengthens your relationships rather than weakens them. So check that out in the description box if you want to learn more. I hope you have a great day and take care.